Hey, everybody, it's Steve. Let's talk about therapy. Any therapy related topics, let's talk about them. I'm a therapist. I've been a therapist for 20 years. Let's just have some fun. Okay. I just want to have a fun live stream. Okay. I'm doing these formal videos and I've been doing them, and I just want to have like a relaxed coffee conversation. All right. And by the way, te amo, okay? Te amo. Some little coffee. It's decaf. I quit caffeine over a year ago. So let's talk. What should we talk about? Hello to that one person watching. Everybody, you're welcome to comment. You can simply put your question. If you have a question, ask it in the chat section or in the reply section after the video is over. Okay, just a little bit about me. I've been a therapist for over 20 years. Okay, let's see. I got my master's degree in 2002, and I became licensed. I'm an LPC in Colorado. I got my license in 2005. All right, and I've been a therapist now for 20 something years. I am on the older side. I was born in 1971, baby. Don't mess with me. All right. But anyway, I'm kind of psyching myself out a little bit. But anyway, yeah, I started this channel because I just want to give. I just want to give to people. And I have too much time on my hands. I had 2 clients this morning. It's an easy day. Okay. Friday and Saturday are going to be much busier. I do see clients on Saturdays because it's helpful and it's good for making money and all that. But anyway, so I've got the rest of the afternoon to just relax and talk. And I do have my legal pad. There was the one video where I showed it off, and it's all torn and beat up, but I got my notes. I will say this. I have so much respect for people who do video blogs, and they do, they have channels on YouTube where they just talk, and maybe they talk about a topic and they do videos 5 days a week. I watch a couple of people related to that, and total respect. All the ums and ahs and your mind going blank, and then misspeaking or getting nervous and speaking with that nervous energy. I totally know that. Totally get it. And I mean, I did 2 videos recently where all I did was I found a quote on Pinterest, a quote that was kind of inspiring, related to growth and healing. And I just said the quote, and I just tried to elaborate for like 2 minutes. That alone was so hard because I didn't have any notes, and I'm looking at the camera, and I'm trying to just talk naturally. It was the hardest thing. Absolutely crazy. So anyway, I have plans to do much longer, much more elaborate videos about specific clinical and mental health topics, where I'm sure I'll go over 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes talking about a certain topic. Somehow I've got to organize it with notes and all that kind of stuff. And by the way, and I'm noticing all my hand talking. And anyway, I'm out of my comfort zone. That's the heart of this. Actually, that'll be my first lesson. Get out of your comfort zone. If you feel stuck, get out of your comfort zone. That might sound like a cliche, but what does get out of your comfort zone mean? It means try something new. Do something that's like a little scary, or where maybe on some level you've always wanted to learn something or do something, but you're too scared. And now's the time to go do it. And that's what this channel is all about for me, is leaving my comfort zone. By the way, how do you leave your comfort zone? That's a question. Hold on, let me sip before I give you the answer. So if you've got your comfort zone here and something new and a little different here, what's in between? How do you get from your comfort zone to something new? It's called risk. You take a risk. Go take a risk. Risk. Just say, what the heck? I'm going to try it. I don't even care what happens. You go for it. Even if I fail, you know, that attitude of like, it doesn't even matter if I fail or succeed. I'm just going to go for it. What the heck? That's all it takes to leave your comfort zone. All right. So I just gave you some free therapy right there. Okay. Pretty basic stuff. You don't need a therapist to hear that, but maybe you do. Maybe you do. That's right. Got my Te Amo cup. I quit caffeine over a year ago. I just felt like an addict. I felt like a drug addict. And there was one morning in January 2025 where I didn't have any caffeine and I couldn't stop by the Dunkin' Donuts. Then I actually went to go see my personal trainer. I'd lift weights. Crystal helps me a lot. I'm not that muscular, but I was even thinner. But anyway, I worked out with my personal trainer and I was so caffeine deficient and the neurons in my brain were just so upset and I was grouchy. And it was at that moment that I said, you know what? I got to quit this. This is like an addiction. And I stopped and it just was like 2 or 3 days. I felt really kind of bad and sleepy. Then there was another week where I just felt a little bit low energy in the morning. And then I was better. I didn't have any headaches. I didn't have that withdrawal symptom. But anyway, I quit caffeine. I'm pretty boring. I don't drink. No drugs. I don't really drink any soda. No caffeine. I do eat some fast food. And I just ate a Del Taco. So I quit something else. I forgot what else. I do like candy. I do like my sugary candy. And so there you go. I'm addicted to my phone. I'm definitely addicted to my phone. That's a whole phone addiction. There's a topic. I don't have too much wisdom on that because I'm still learning about it, but I'm trying to practice like turning my phone off sometimes. Definitely when I'm in session, I turn my phone off, but that kind of thing. So, all right. So I'm turning to my list right here. All right. By the way, so I've been a therapist, since 2002. And I had a whole bunch of jobs early on in my career, but I've been doing telehealth for the last 8 years, since 2018. I see everyone right on this laptop by video. I love it. I work from home. I work from my couch in my living room. I have no commute. I have no boss. I don't even have to deal with coworkers. I mean, seriously, just speaking from my heart, I am living the dream. This is my dream job, to be in private practice. And I work a lot with companies that send me clients and then they take a cut, sometimes too big of a cut. And I accept insurance and it's doable. I'm trying to work more towards cash pay clients where I don't have to deal with insurance and I get paid what I'm worth. That's a long story about that. Just trying to get paid what you're worth, right? So, but anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, I struggled for years and years and years. Sorry, I'm adjusting my CrossFit. I don't do CrossFit anymore, by the way, but I used to. Anyway, I struggled for years. I tell my clients that are struggling with like career direction, they're really unhappy with their jobs. I struggled for years with being unhappy in jobs in my field, usually mental health related. They were good jobs and we helped people, but I never enjoyed the structure. There was so much paperwork and documentation requirements. Anyway, whenever a client tells me they're struggling with like job hopping or they're just really unhappy with their career, I always want to just give them full compassion and say, listen, I was totally there. I remember doing the job hopping. Actually, if you look at my resume, prior to private practice, it was like, oh, I worked here for a year and I quit. Worked here for 18 months and I quit. Worked here for 6 months and I quit. Oh, I got this weird gap in my, I biked across America. Here's a 6-month gap. I have biked across America 3 times. So anyway, if you look at my resume from a traditional standpoint, it's like I worked here for a year, did this for a year. Usually I would quit my jobs. So anyway, I have total compassion. And so that's all. Just a little side note about job and career type stuff. Oh, but getting back to the telehealth type thing. Sometimes people say, hey, like, should I see someone in person? I would think I would want to see a therapist in person and go to a physical office. And look, if that's what people desire, that's totally fine. My experience has been to clients, if you're really motivated and your heart's open to just talking things out, doing therapy by video can be just as solid. Plus, you don't have to worry about the inconvenience of driving across town to somebody's office. Plus, for me on my side, when clients don't show up, which does happen sometimes, I'm just home and it's just easier to move on and to do something to keep myself busy during that client hour. So just a little thought right there. So, and then really, I'm convinced video is just as good as in person for most issues. And it really does come down to how hard are you willing to work? How interested are you in really digging deep about whatever's going on in your life? And if you have chemistry with your therapist. Oh, and then also, it is like, if you are going to do it by video, you do need a place in your home where it's quiet and private and you can talk freely. You don't have to worry about somebody in the next room overhearing you or some issue related to that. Some people have so many roommates that privacy is a hard thing. So sometimes my clients will see me while sitting in their car, which is fine as long as it's private. My rules about it are, I just don't want you engaging in distracting behaviors. Definitely not driving a car. I don't want you eating like a big bowl of something in your, on your lunch break. That's not going to work. I don't want you walking your dog. I don't want you doing work tasks like working and talking to me at the same time, or checking your email or looking at your phone. I try not to be too harsh or anything, but I will confront my clients if I know that they're looking at their phone or, they got another window open and they're like looking at something. And so, but that's all. Anyway, I'm just rambling about therapy by video. And anyway, I've been doing it for 8 years. I'm convinced it's just as good as in person. And I just throw that out there. And you don't have to agree or whatever, Hello, muffins. Hey. All right. So first of all, muffins, that's a great question. Well, when people are struggling, they're struggling. And definitely over economic difficulties, of course. It's all about empathy. I've been pretty darn poor. I totally understand. And so, if somebody's struggling with economic difficulties, I'm just going to totally try to be supportive and a good listener. And to the extent that they're trying to sort of solve their problem, or whether it's they need to find a job or more income or cost of living issues, all that kind of stuff. Of course, I just want to be supportive. It really depends on the client. So And then, yeah, like, I mean, things are like affordability is a huge issue right now. And by the way, from speaking of economic difficulties, I haven't been as busy the last couple of months. I'm still doing fine. I'm busy enough, but usually I'm like even more busy. And it's just interesting to just see a little downturn with clients contacting me, say, roughly in the last 2 to 3 months, somewhere around the start of the year. So that's a really good question. The sad part is sometimes clients where they have economic challenges, they can't afford therapy. And hopefully they have insurance. And if you have insurance, you can at least go to your community mental health agency as a kind of, well, I'll call it bare bones, but at least you've got that ground level of you should be able to see a therapist. So very good question, Muffins. Thank you. By the way, you're the first commenter. Muffins, you deserve an award because this is my first live stream of my new channel, Midnight Cactus. Okay. And you're the very first, you're like the, the first person that gets a hit on an expansion team. But anyway, thank you. If you got any more questions, keep the questions coming. Oh, you're a big Not Too Shabby fan. Muffins, thank you. Hey, listen, I'm going to continue doing my Not Too Shabby videos. I'm not going to ignore Kiss Cactus. I just got to do this. I got to do this channel to promote my therapy work and to give and to just expand this part of my world, So that's why I called it Midnight Cactus. Midnight Cactus. It makes no sense at all, but I don't care. So, hey, Muffins, have you seen a therapist? Have you ever been in therapy in your life? You're welcome to share if you want. That's always like the most interesting thing, by the way, is like just being out and about in the world and talking to people. And if they find out what I do for work, just ask them, hey, have you ever seen a therapist? When was the last time you've seen a therapist? And sometimes, people get like really guarded about if they've seen a therapist. And my attitude is like, it's no big deal. It's no different than seeing a dentist or a doctor or a massage therapist or something like that, where you're just taking care of yourself. I've been seeing a therapist for 4 years. Her name's Natalie. She's a great therapist. I actually saw her this morning. I saw her first thing this morning. So, but anyway, you know what I mean? Like, and I think part of the mindset is oh, hold on. You got a question here? Let's see. No, Muffins. Okay, actually, I'm glad you elaborated on that. I'm working on my public speaking a little bit here. But you're totally right. A lot of times, I don't know what percentage, if I could quantify it, but a lot of times people come to me and they've got a burden, there's a crisis, there's some kind of life issue that's causing them trouble. It's breaking their heart. And you're right. It's obvious that there's no easy answer. Totally get it. That's where the processing comes in and talking it out. Hopefully your therapist will have a lot of empathy for you and listening well. And I almost get a little heartbroken thinking about it, but amidst that difficult situation that a person can't change, sometimes receiving empathy and understanding and connection and feeling fully heard and understood can at least give them something good that they can hold on to in their hearts. You know, that's actually a really good question, though, because in one of my videos, I was talking about clients coming to me with problems and they want to solve their problems and that kind of thing. Sometimes I can maybe try to give counsel or direction. I can help them solve their problem, right? But other times it's just obvious. Now, I know there's nothing you can do, whether it's like, the most common things are like somebody dealing with a divorce. They're going through a divorce or a relationship breakup and they're just devastated. I mean, there are some things to say that I do say, but it's like, yeah, there's not much. Or like grief, you lose someone, that somebody dies in your life, or like losing your job. By the way, this is officially, like in diagnostic terms, this is called an adjustment disorder, usually. All right, where there's some life event that's happened that's pretty big and significant. And dealing with that issue has created so much internal turmoil or strife that they're either having depressive symptoms or anxiety symptoms, or they're not functioning well at work, or they have got like sleep problems. That's called an adjustment disorder. So, very good question, Muffins. I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, I've gone for 22 minutes. I got to put timestamps. I'm going to put timestamps because I know what it's like to watch videos on YouTube. I'm a big YouTuber. And if there's like a 1 hour long video of some guy talking, maybe it's a topic I'm interested in. Still, I'm looking at the headline and I'm thinking, okay, are there timestamps? Are there chapters where I can just click immediately and go to a chapter? So I'm going to put those because I get so impatient, so there you go. Hey, I've got future topics to talk about. Send good vibes and encouragement my way because I've got like 20 video ideas where I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to talk about a topic. All right. And I made a little bit of a list. Number 1, how to find a good therapist. How to find a good therapist. I've got my ideas on that. 2, what to do when you're in therapy and it feels like you don't know what to talk about anymore. Sometimes my clients will tell me, I don't know what to talk about anymore. All right. I've got some ideas. 3, boundaries. The principles of boundaries. So many people struggle with boundaries and setting boundaries and enforcing boundaries and worrying what people will think if they have boundaries, all that good stuff. Some of these are kind of serious. Like, I care deeply about complicated grief from suicide loss. I've had a few clients in the last year where they lost someone to suicide. They lost a family member to suicide. And the grief journey is much more complicated. Way more, I keep using the word complicated, but it's just different from when you lose someone to old age and you feel sad, but it feels natural to say they were old, they lived a great life. But when you lose someone to suicide, there's all sorts of questions. Anyway, I'm going to make a video all about that. And let's see. Oh, one, I saw on YouTube, there's a hashtag called Therapy Explained. Therapy Explained. And I'm going to do one. I'm going to talk about therapy. What is it? Why is it helpful? At least from my perspective, why should the average person maybe consider going to therapy? All right. So Therapy Explained. Let's see. What else do I have? I got to do a full, I don't know how to. Anyway, the topic is building the muscle of not caring what people think of you. It's such a huge, important. It's a matter of being successful or not, in my view. Is like you've got to learn how to be okay if someone doesn't like you, or someone really dislikes you, or whatever. To be okay with that, to be strong. And I'll just give one little teaser. Sometimes I got a number of clients, and usually they're in their 20s, they're young adults, or into their 30s, and they're talking about how they're just held captive by, oh no, what's somebody going to think? What are my parents going to think? What is my boss going to think? Oh, if I do this, everyone's going to think I'm blah blah blah. And it's like, sometimes I've just listened and I'm thinking, okay, I'm 54. I absolutely remember what it was like. I was totally, very much worried about what people think of me, all that stuff. And then I'm thinking, okay, I'm 54 now. And for the most part, I mean, I don't care at all. I mean, I'm totally free of that. I don't care at all what anybody thinks of me or the choices that I make. It doesn't matter. I mean, even if I know somebody dislikes me or thinks I'm the worst, most evil person in the world, I'm like, okay, I could think of some things to say that I won't. And then I'm like, okay, but how did I get? So I'm internally just thinking, how did I get from where I was in my 20s to where I am in my 50s? And I almost think to myself, I want to give that to my clients. But first I'm like, how did I get there? And anyway, that's my little bad teaser about it's really important to get used to people not liking you or somehow working that muscle. If you use like the weightlifting analogies, if it's like a muscle, you got to get stronger at practicing that, being okay with that, you know? So anyway, those are some of my video topic ideas. So I can talk about anxiety, some of the basics, or anxiety is a huge one. There's like, I could easily like have 10 different topics related to different aspects of anxiety, you know. So anyway, so there you go. Let me sip some coffee. I need to have more fun in this. By the way, here's something. I don't know if this is fun, but for all three, I've made 3 shorts. 3 shorts. And for each video, each short, I've picked a background song that's either from Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, because I'm a Breaking Bad junkie. I'm a Better Call Saul fan. I'm a mega fan. All right. And let's see. I'm going to play them. Let me just play them. Okay. The shorts. Here we go. Let's see. Okay. This one is the Better Call Saul ending song. The problem you can't talk about with anyone, that's now 2 problems. Think about it. Life is hard enough as it is. There you go. If you have no one to talk to, and it feels like you're keeping secrets, and then you're getting depressed and hopeless about that problem, I like this. And you're carrying shame about it, it's only going to get worse. Listen, I'm a therapist. Go see a therapist. Listen to this guy. Find a therapist that is a good listener, that's non-judgmental. Talk about it. Something to think about. All right, so that's the Better Call Saul ending song, all right? And then, all right, this one, the healing one. First of all, I hope people like the healing, and I really do mean it. I hope you heal over anything, no matter what the circumstances. Actually, that's what I stand for. It's healing, period. Whether you get an apology or not, whether it's a long time ago or whatever. You know what I mean? Healing. And anyway, this really pretty song with Norah Jones, it's the song, by the way, spoiler alert right now if you haven't seen Breaking Bad. It's the song after Walter kills Gus. And then Walter is on the phone with Skylar and he says, I won. And he's in that parking garage. And then this beautiful song comes on. Here it is. I hope you heal from all the things in your life where you know you'll never get an apology from anyone. That's it. Isn't that a beautiful song? It's so beautiful. From all the things in your life where you know you'll never get an apology from anyone. That's it. I need more super pretty, inspiring little background tunes. I need to do some time, maybe even this afternoon, looking up, finding songs that are really pretty and beautiful, almost inspiring. And then I'm going to do more shorts where I just give a little 10-second blessing, a little, hey, here's something. Have a great day. Be well on your journey. So, and then let's see this one. I forgot what song. Oh, this is the Better Call Saul theme song. Be brave enough to be bad at something new. Try something you've never tried before. I've been playing pickleball lately. And I started this YouTube channel. For real. Be brave enough to be bad at something new. Be brave. Try something you've never tried before. I've been playing. By the way, be brave enough to be bad at something new. I'm applying that to myself. Sometimes I'm guessing a lot of my videos will be things I'm applying to myself, and then I'm like, oh, why don't I just make a video about it? Because that's how I feel about this YouTube channel. It's like, just be brave. It's okay if it's bad. It's okay if it's not that great. Just you're new at it. It doesn't even matter. Just do it. Be brave. How many times do we get stuck because we're afraid to start something new because we know we're going to be bad at it? And then how are we going to look? And what are people going to think? And on. And then I'm a failure. I'm afraid of failure, blah, blah, blah. So be brave enough to be bad at something new. Just a little encouragement. I started playing pickleball. I'm actually I'm okay. I'm kind of an intermediate. I used to play tennis a long time ago, and I got pretty good at it pretty soon. But I just want to encourage you. I'm from Colorado. We're an outdoorsy state where there's hiking trails and, it's very conducive for outdoor activity and going outside and go on a hike, go ride your bike, go climb a mountain. And it's okay if you're not that good at it. It's okay if you're out of shape. If you're out of shape, then just do your best. Just challenge yourself each day to get a little better. If you can't climb a big mountain, climb a little mountain. Go hike up a little mountain. Get your workout in. You know what I mean? Get a little better each time. And it's the same way with life. All right? So there you go. We have, let's see. Okay, we only have one person watching. Muffins, are you still there? By the way, if anyone watches this far, the term Midnight Cactus comes from my personal channel. I have a personal channel called Kiss Cactus. Okay, and you can check it out if you want. But it's just kind of my personal channel. It's a hodgepodge of things. And I do a lot of scenery videos and hiking and biking. And I got my Not Too Shabby video series. And I do make a kind of a stand. There's a playlist near the top right now where I do make a stand about some issues going on in our world where I will not be silent ever. So anyway, you're welcome to check it out. Kiss Cactus. This channel is Midnight Cactus 2. By the way, speaking of being brave enough to do something bad, I wanted just Midnight Cactus as my name, but it wouldn't let me do that. And then there was Midnight Cactus 1 was a person. And then I could choose Midnight Cactus 2 or Midnight Cactus 7. And I was overthinking it. And I was like, oh, that's going to be stupid to have Midnight Cactus 2. But then I was like, what the heck? I'm just going to market my brand as Midnight Cactus. And I do need to get more cactuses around. There's actually Yeah, I'm gonna get more cactuses, like even just like a cactus like next to me on each side when I do my videos. So there you go. All right, should we stop? I've gone for 35 minutes. It's not too shabby. It's not too shabby. Actually, I'm going to finish when I finish my coffee. Since we're talking about therapy, I actually want to talk about my work in therapy. And suddenly I'm drawing a blank. My number, here's the thing. When I first saw Natalie 4 years ago, I told her, Natalie, I saw one guy prior to Natalie for about 6 months. He was a good guy. He helped me, but there was something that bothered me. And I went with the new therapist. Anyway, I saw Natalie and I said, Natalie, I want 2 things from you. I just want you to do your best to listen. Or just do your best. All right. Even if you're not the greatest listener, just try. Do your best. And 2, show that you care. Show that you care. That's all I want. And I'm the type of guy, most of the time, my problems are such that there is no advice. They're kind of unsolvable problems. I just need to talk about it, you know? And like, for instance, like in my life, I do have like friends and I've got a support system. But realistically, there are just times where I can't count on my friends, or sometimes my friends, they're good listeners, but sometimes they're not the greatest listeners. I mean, that's just the way friends are. So then with my therapist, I'm like, oh, okay, Natalie, we're going to talk about this because nobody would listen to me about this. You know what I mean? And, you know, so a lot of my therapy is just feeling better that somebody knows what I'm going through. And this frustrating thing or this difficult thing, you know. So she's not really, you know, trying to think how to talk about it, but, you know, and it is to the point now where she knows me so well. She knows me like, she knows my personality and, you know. And by the way, like I always tell my clients this, I'm going to do another video about this topic at some point, but, there's a lot of therapy clients I've noticed have a mindset of, I'm in therapy, therefore, like the only thing I'm allowed to talk about is like the things that are wrong with me and fixing them. And I get it, you know, like usually people are coming to me because there's some aspect, they need relief, they need something to improve. You know, I mean, I do get it. But it's like, it's okay to come to therapy and to talk about how great things are. I tell very directly, I want to know about your hopes and dreams. What if we take a break from that problem or that flaw you have? Tell me about your hopes and dreams. Tell me about your most amazing achievement or that one hobby that you absolutely love where you're just so passionate about, and tell me about it. And I'm just going to listen and validate you. You know what I mean? Therapy just doesn't always have to be about, well, this is what's wrong with me and this is what needs to be fixed. All right? Or that's all. Just a thought there. Okay? So, all right, let me finish this coffee. Te amo, everybody. Te amo. There you go. There you go. All right, you know what? It's been a good first live stream. I've gone for 39 minutes, and I'm not sick of myself. Maybe you are. I got 2 people watching. But hey, a reminder, you are welcome to comment below my videos, ask questions, give comments if you disagree or agree or whatever. All right. And you're welcome to subscribe. I'm up to 43 subscribers as of this morning. I was at like 22 last, I don't know, like 5 or 6 days ago. And honestly, like at least 10 or 15 we're friends. All right. And I love my friends. Okay. I'm not saying anything, but like, I don't know where these other subscribers are coming. So anyway, you're welcome to subscribe. If you think my content's worthwhile, subscribe. Okay. And you're always welcome to ask me questions. And you know what I mean? Like, that's all. And by the way, this happens sometimes on my personal channel. I'll be doing a live stream and I'll finally feel like, oh, okay, I'm going to finish. And then near the very end, as I'm winding down, I see the ticker number of people watching. And right now there's 3 people watching. The most I've ever had in a Midnight Cactus live stream. 3. So now I feel guilty about leaving the live stream. By the way, hello to all 3 people. Let's talk about therapy. Do you have any questions about therapy? I'm willing to stick around. All right. If anybody's got a question or I don't know, whatever. I've been a therapist for over 20 years in Colorado. It's a great job. It's a great job. It's hard work though. If I should do a video. I'm going to jot this down about advice to give to like graduate students. You know what I mean? Like, or, like maybe somebody in high school or they're in college and they're thinking, hey, I might want to get my master's. Advice to future therapists. See, I got my little legal pad right here. So, but really, I should do a video about that too. Yeah, actually, yeah. Things they don't tell you in graduate school, things I wish I knew. I've learned a lot of lessons the hard way by just getting burned or just making the mistake and you know what I mean? And then being like, okay, I'll never let that happen again. You know what I mean? So, but you don't want to put too many walls up. Sometimes I put too many walls up as an older person where I'm like, I'll never let anyone do that to me again. That'll never happen to me again. I know you know what I mean? But then what happens is you get older and before you know it, you got so many walls up and you're like, I don't have any friends. I don't do anything. I've protected myself, but anyway, that's something I've experienced in my personal life. So what was I going to show you? I forgot what I was going to show you. Oh, here. Let's see. I might do a short about this very topic, which is I've never met a strong person with an easy past. Think about that. If you're a strong person, it's probably because you've had a hard past. You've had to, So anyway, so if you have a hard past, it's not about silver lining anything, but take heart. You might become a strong person, and strong people can make a big difference in the world. You know what I mean? Strong people it's easier maybe to be a little more compassionate because of, so I've never met a strong person with an easy past. There you go. Anyway, somehow I'm going to elaborate. We'll see what I do. But all right, I'm going to stop here. There's only 2 people watching. I got up to 4. And then they dropped down to 2 because I'm just boring. And who's this guy with a CrossFit tank top and a cowboy hat? And who's this weird guy? But really, thank you for watching. All right. Hey, make it a great day. All right. Go leave your comfort zone. Go do something a little crazy. I'll do the same too. All right. All right. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.